welcome to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live. Yes, all the way live from Black Pearl Studios, where we talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. Welcome back to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black. Listen, I know y'all probably like, well, daggone, Dana, how much content are you going to put out? If I can get every candidate that's running for the State House on this show, I'ma do it, because that's where we need to change things. There's a lot of bills coming out of the State House over the last couple of years that have not been net positive for Hoosiers. So we have an opportunity to change that up. Coolest part about it is, as I've mentioned a couple of times, we have 25 Senate seats filled with Democrats and 91 of the 100 House seats filled with Democrats, and I have another House candidate that we're going to talk to today. Y'all give it up for my guest, Michelle Hennessee Sears, who is running for the Indiana House District 58. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dana. I definitely appreciate you doing this and offering all of us the opportunity to really share who we are.
It is, you know what? Everybody has to find what they're good at. And whenever I get to getting on my preacher stump, talking about, come help, I always tell people, bring your gift, bring your skill, and don't nobody talk more than me. So I might as well just keep talking. That's what I do.
I love it.
So tell the people who you are and where you come from.
So I'm Michelle Hennessee Sears. I am a lifelong born and raised Hoosier.
Come on.
I grew up in Lake County, so, just way up north. And then I went to school all the way down in Evansville.
Wow.
Because I couldn't get far enough away from my parents at, age 18.
But you didn't leave the state, see?
No, I didn't. And then I subsequently, after I graduated with my bachelor's in psychology from the University of Southern Indiana in 2007, I came to Indianapolis for work because I refused to move back home.
That's serious.
I'm that epitome of a stubborn firstborn daughter.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then at that point, I worked for a while. I got married. I had a baby. I went back and got my master's degree in applied behavior analysis.
Wow.
And I have been a board certified behavior analyst since 2018. I've been working in the field for about 15 years now. And in 2016, I actually co-founded and started my own ABA therapy company that's called ACE, Autism Center for Enrichment, out in Greenfield. So I bring a ton of lived experience to the table. So
can I be funny for just a second?
Absolutely.
Do you want to do an armchair psychology reading of the people that are writing bills in our state house?
Oh my gosh. I don't know that people are actually prepared for the unfiltered version of what I would say at this point.
Man, see, I can't wait for us to talk offline, because I tell you what, I know you're seeing some of the stuff that's coming out of that state house, and obviously that was a joke in the armchair, because I would never discount or minimize the work that you do. But talk about some of the things that you're seeing and what it does to you on the insides.
So one of the I guess the things that had really impacted me and the individuals that I serve the most has been the restrictions regarding ABA therapy in Indiana. So what FSSA essentially put out was that they are going to place a lifetime cap on a medically necessary therapy in an effort to save money.
Because that's so important.
Exactly. So, effectively, our people in charge have more or less said that individuals with disabilities aren't worth spending money on. And in the state of Indiana, Indiana was one of the first that had an autism mandate for services. Indiana has probably one of the most robust waiver programs in the entire country. But we are failing Hoosiers. We're failing Hoosier families. We are failing Hoosiers with disabilities because of trying to save a buck.
Doesn't it cost us more though? Like if someone is not getting the necessary therapy at the appropriate time in their lives, it costs us more money in the end?
It absolutely does. So where I really thrive in behavior analysis are individuals that exhibit extreme levels of self-injury, physical aggression, have medical complexities. So a lot of them are dually or multiply diagnosed with a variety of medical conditions in addition to autism. And the cost of caring for those individuals over their lifetime increases exponentially as you reduce the services that they should be getting.
Right. And it just seems like, when the governor just came out in the month of June, this nuclear family nonsense, you would think that we would be doing everything we can to keep families together, especially those with special needs.
Absolutely. And on that note, let me just address that little proclamation that he made. So what was written in there was that, children are going to children are going to do best in their biological family. I can tell you that is unequivocally false. Children do best with a family that loves and supports them.
Absolutely.
Period. Regardless of what that family looks like.
Absolutely.
My son and his father and I, we were married, obviously, when, we had our son, subsequently divorced. And truthfully, we are wonderful co-parents.
Right.
We were not great married.
Right.
Children that grow up in homes where there is discord between their married parents do worse statistically and clinically. Their mental health suffers. And ultimately, we're going to end up spending more money on services that aren't, that could not be necessary if we actually supported families in whatever. However they look.
Yeah. One of the things that drives me crazy, and it was coincidental, I imagine, that he had made this proclamation during the month of Pride, month of June. And I think about my best friends. One is a CPA, one is an attorney. They have two amazing daughters. One is on their way to college, and their children have, at least two moms, have been able to give their kids, everything that a loving family should, in many cases, better than a lot of my heterosexual couples that I see out here, simply because of the way they work together. And to suggest that they are not legit, or my partner who was a single mom and raised two amazing daughters, right, to discount that. I guess what I get frustrated with is, aren't you supposed to be the governor for everybody?
Supposed to be, but that doesn't mean that that's what actually is.
No. Because we know that lieutenant governor, he don't like Muslims.
Our lieutenant governor doesn't like anybody. And quite frankly, I don't even think he likes himself.
So I was going to say that, Michelle. I was going to say, I don't think he liked himself because he's only like 5'6.5". I said, it's always the little dude that's out here beating their chest. And I didn't realize how little he was until I saw him in the State House. Now, I don't have a thing against little guys. I think greatness can come in all sizes. But when you are that angry at things that aren't like you mad at you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I imagine your behavioral sciences tell us more.
Oh, I mean, truthfully, it's attention, in behavior analysis, we're taught that there are 4 reasons for all human behavior.
Okay.
Attention, access to something that we want, escape from something that we don't want to do, or something that's automatically reinforcing. So drinking water, automatically reinforcing. You're thirsty, you drink water. My guess with, a lot of the people that are out there, it's attention. I had somebody ask me at one of the speaking engagements that I had done, what can you tell us to give us any hope?
I love that question. I'm stealing it.
And my response was this, statistically, everything falls within the realm of standard deviations. And your percentages of the population that are very much on the fringes are incredibly small compared to a majority of people. A majority of people are going to fall within 1 standard deviation or 2 standard deviations of the mean. With that being said, get out and talk to people because honestly, we are so much more alike than what anybody believes that we are. And it's because the people that are on the fringes are so much louder.
Yeah. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And that's one of the reasons, one of the frustrations I have with my party. And it's just, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's more human behavior than anything. Right. And I mean, I've even seen it in my party where, listen, you got your person and that's okay. But when it's all said and done, we're going to have to come together because every Democrat is better than any of them Republicans. And I'll stand 10 toes down on that one. I mean, because we're not writing policies that are harmful to people. And when I think about the policy writing aspect of it, tell me how, do you call yourself a behavioralist, a behavioral scientist? Well, I don't know. I want to make sure I address it appropriately.
No, that's okay. Honestly, there are so many different terms. So most of the time I just say that I'm a behavior therapist.
Behavior therapist. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel like your education, the years that you worked in behavior therapy will help you as you think about crafting policies?
Oh, gosh. So as a behavior analyst, one of, the way that I'm trained and educated is that I look at human behavior that we would consider to be problematic or maladaptive. And I break it down into the smallest components. And I look at why it's occurring. So what is the function of that behavior? And how can we effectively replace it with something that is more adaptive, something that is more positive, more pro-social? And applying that to policy or legislation, we have these problems and we are looking at finding the root of those problems and then creating policy that would negate that problem or alleviate that problem. That's literally the basis of everything that I've done for the last 15 years. From the standpoint of, I own a small business. We have survived 10 years, and that has been no small feat. So I also am coming from the aspect of a small business owner, a lifelong Hoosier, a mom, a wife, and just a person.
Right. An all around decent human.
I mean, I generally like to think that I am, but
yeah, I mean, literally, because it's so amazing to me. And again, you kind of got sucked into this because now you told me what you do for a living. I got like all them questions, right? It's amazing to me how people have decided that cash, money, trinkets, gifts outweigh the well-being of their fellow man. I don't understand that. Like, yes, I want to make more money. Who doesn't want to make more money? Right? We all want to be able to, take a cruise around the world or whatever thing we want to do. But I'm not willing to sell out my fellow human to have it, whereas some people are. And I know as someone who looks at things from a very holistic perspective, it's got to be incredibly frustrating for you to watch fellow humans treat each other that way.
It is, and one of the things that I've always tried to live by is doing for others and towards others what you would want done to you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We were all taught
the golden rule.
I mean, the golden rule in kindergarten, or at least we thought that we were all taught the golden rule.
Exactly.
Some of us clearly need to go back to kindergarten. Yes. Relearn that. And back to kindergarten. Some of us need to go back to like high school biology and maybe actually pay a little bit more attention.
They just deny the science books.
Right. Yes. I've always felt very strongly that if we are supporting the least of us, mm-hmm. that we're doing the right thing. But that also means that the rest of us are going to prosper. When the least of us prospers, all of us do.
Yeah. Was it "Rising Tide Lifts All Boats" was the Obama slogan for 2008? Oh, Lord, that's been so long ago.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I know.
Can you believe it?
Way too long.
I know. And so when you're campaigning in a decent sized House district, you have a lot of rural communities, and you are in the behavioral sciences, and I imagine mental health is also a huge part of understanding the work that you're doing. When you talk about FSSA, because I used to be in the IoT department, and I was the one that took care of FSSA offices in Indiana. And so I know that they're in every county. There's multiple in Hamilton. So I know people in Hamilton County don't think they have food stamp offices, but you do. But anyway, when you're out talking to people and you understand the healthcare crisis that we are seeing, what are folks saying to you in rural Indiana about access to mental health care, access to OBGYN care, anything like that? So,
Johnson Memorial is right down the road from where I live. Mm-hmm. And they had to discontinue their OBGYN services.
Johnson County did?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I want the listeners to understand. Johnson County is a donut county, and donut counties surround Marion County, which means it has a much higher population than, say, I don't know, White County. So the fact that you're telling me Johnson County closed Johnson Memorial, closed this OBGYN, with all the people that live in Johnson County?
Yeah. Yep. So last year, my business, a commercial insurer owed my business nearly $500,000. Oh. And it took a year and a half, $25,000 in attorney's fees. Oh. And my business partner, who is a social media influencer, doing a video on TikTok about what was going on. Mm. And I ended up having to actually close a large majority of my business locations because of the amount of money that was outstanding. Mm. The fact of the matter is that insurance companies are basically in control of our healthcare. They are in control of our healthcare system. And until we hold them accountable to paying their claims, paying them timely, paying them in accordance to their contracts, and allowing providers to go after them for legal fees when we prevail, nothing is ever going to change.
Yeah. Well, so as you're telling this story, and I know you probably can't go into a lot of detail, but can you give examples of why the excuses that they gave as to why they weren't paying? I mean, I'm just curious, like, you said you was going to cover this stuff. Why ain't you covering it?
Exactly. These were patients that had prior authorizations for service.
Oh my goodness. Okay. You are blowing my mind over here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, everything that you get. So when you have a medical procedure done, that is considered elective. So basically, unless it is emergent, it is an elective procedure. Mm-hmm. You could need open heart surgery and it be elective. Because of timing. So unless you go into the emergency room and they say, we absolutely have to take you into surgery right now, this minute, or you're not going to live, that's the only time that it is considered emergent, where you don't have to get prior authorization for that service. Otherwise, you do have to get prior authorization for a majority of your services, with the exception of preventative care. Or like a sick visit.
Right.
So what that means, though, is the insurance company has said, you know what? Yeah, we agree that this is medically necessary and it meets the standard of care. However, there is always a disclaimer in there that prior authorization is not a guarantee of payment.
Interesting.
So you could need open heart surgery. Your insurance company can say, yeah, we believe this is medically necessary. Your provider can do the surgery, and the insurance company can turn around and say, yeah, we're not going to pay that. We actually don't think it was medically necessary.
After the fact. After you've gotten prior authorization, yes, they can turn around and say, oh, we changed our mind.
Yes, they absolutely can. So things that, and reasons can range from basically they don't like your documentation to, well, there's this policy that we have that doesn't really apply to you and isn't in your contract, but we're going to apply it to this situation and deny your payment.
Yeah, I agree with you. The devil's in the details, and the insurance company because their disclaimers are like novels.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're sharing so much insight, because I know a lot of people out here are often frustrated at the insurance companies and how they do business, because you pay these premiums and you think you're supposed to get services based on the premiums, and then you turn around and can't get it. I think, yeah, I have thoughts. I almost said something I probably shouldn't have said. And I'm glad I caught myself. But
you could edit it out, right?
Yeah. Well, I can understand I can understand how people could get so frustrated into doing negative things. And I'll just say it like that, because I would never condone any violence or anything like that. But I can understand why people would get so frustrated that hey, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be able to get these services because I'm paying into it, and now you telling me you're not going to cover it? Yeah, man. And it's kind of, go ahead.
As a provider, you've provided that service. You've billed insurance. You've paid your employees that, helped you render that service. Insurance company doesn't pay you.
What do you do? So it's a circular way of hurting everybody.
It absolutely is. So in Indiana, state law says they have 30 days to process your claim, not to pay your claim, to process the claim. So if I submit a claim on June 1st, They have 30 days to process that claim. Now, if they deny that claim, I then have to appeal it as the provider. They then have 45 more days to process that appeal. So I am now 75 days without payment for a service that I already rendered and have already paid my employees for. Now, if they deny that appeal, there's another level of appeal that I can go to. But now we're talking, I could effectively be without payment for 90 or more days.
God, that's just evil.
What business can survive when people are not paying you for 90 or more days for services that you've already provided to them?
And they were pre-approved to get.
Yes.
See, the fact that you actually have to get prior authorization from a numbers cruncher versus the medical professional is somewhat disturbing in and of itself. And this is just criminal. And I have a feeling that Indiana law, when it comes to insurance companies, side with the insurance companies more than they do either the patient or the provider.
It absolutely does.
And I imagine if you were to, when you win, I'm going to claim it because we need to put you in there to fix this. Not that you're going to do it by yourself, but you know what I mean? I imagine that there's probably a specific policy or a specific, situation now that you would love to put your fingers in and try to fix. Can you share maybe one or two? And I know that we've been kind of stuck in one space right now, but this is how we learn about what the skill sets of the people that we're trying to get elected. And I am so dang curious. I hope my listeners are. I am so dang curious because you have so much intimate knowledge about a thing I know nothing about. And so we will get to some other stuff, but I'm just so curious. What would you fix?
So I would create state law that would essentially require insurance companies to pay claims within 7 business days when there is a prior authorization in place.
Okay.
Then, if for whatever reason the insurance company says, you know what, I think that we might have overpaid this claim, the provider should have opportunity for advanced review and appeal prior to any recoupment.
Wait, the insurance companies take money from you?
Yes, and they can legally do it. And they can legally do it without any advanced review. If they believe that they have overpaid you, they can recoup that money from your next payment.
That is ridiculous. You're making me angry over here.
Sorry?
Oh my God.
Real. I mean, and these are the things that people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
This is why rural hospitals are closing. This is why people are having to close, like Johnson Memorial having to get rid of their OBGYN care. So much of it relates back to payments and reimbursements. Yes, like reimbursement rates from Medicare and Medicaid are not fantastic. And in rural counties, those payments are probably a majority of what you're getting. However, when commercial payers don't pay you in a timely manner, it makes your margins even smaller.
Yeah.
Which makes it impossible to, continue to support those Medicaid and Medicare patients.
Yeah.
So realistically, if we truly, as far as like a single payer health system, I think that that's obviously our best bet. However, that's on a federal level. I'm not obviously running for a federal seat at this point in time.
I like the way you said that.
I never thought I would be in this political space, but here I am. And quite frankly, I I feel like this is exactly where I need to be, because so many people don't know what's going on in our healthcare system, and people don't talk about it enough.
I cannot wait for you and Robin Shackelford to work together. She has been she's been an architect of quite a few healthcare bills that have actually gotten passed, you know, with some negotiations, because it's apparent that in order for us to have a thriving society, right, a thriving state, we need people to be healthy. And that's not just the physical health. And listen, I know we've been talking about behavioral and all of that, but can you tell me why dental care is like supposed to be a luxury?
Oh, you know what? So it's funny that you say that. My sister is actually a dental hygienist. And so as far as like dental care, there are so many other illnesses and that come from poor oral hygiene. Your risk, or, you know, like your cardiovascular risk increases with poor oral hygiene. So at a minimum, we should be paying for preventative care for oral hygiene.
Yeah. Period. Dot. You know, my longest adult relationship is with my dentist. I am not kidding. Like I talk way too much not to have my teeth in, and so I'm a little obsessive about it. My girlfriend laughs at me because I brush my teeth with 2 different toothpastes. Listen, I have a water pick and have a travel water pick because I don't do as well with dental floss, but you still got to get it. You got to
get in there. The water pick works.
Yeah. So I'm anal about it. I have to be honest with you. This has been one of the more enlightening conversations I've had in a while, because again, you're talking about things that I know that matter to people, and you are giving us intimate details on how the insurance companies are just screwing us and the state is allowing them to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're paying their CEOs a ton of money. Like look, they literally have 14 doctors to look at every little aspect of their body. And I don't understand why like Hillary said, healthcare is a human right. And the fact that we treat it like it's a luxury. Yeah.
And we want these people to work till they're 70.
Right? Or more.
Make that make sense.
Or more.
I guess we got to talk about some other things.
Yes.
You know, I'm sorry.
I mean, truthfully, I could probably go on for hours about all of the atrocities in our healthcare system. We would be here for probably the next week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, you know what? I feel like that's a good base for our listeners to understand who you are and what you care about. But give us something else that you're just as passionate about, because obviously that's what the passion is, right? That's why you're running. So what else are you passionate about?
So infrastructure.
Talk to me about it.
So this is going to be a very embarrassing story. However, my vehicle has low profile tires. You really can't find a vehicle that doesn't have low profile tires at this point in time.
Unless you get a truck.
And I am not a truck girl.
I got a truck. I won't drive nothing but pickup trucks.
So, I have I'm almost ashamed. I'm actually ashamed to admit this, but I have popped 16 tires in a year and a half.
16 tires on these Indiana roads?
Yes. 16.
Oh my God.
And I've bent 6 rims.
You shouldn't be embarrassed. The state of Indiana should be embarrassed.
I mean, I feel like for me, it's a little bit excessive. I don't know that any other human in Indiana has done that much damage to a vehicle on potholes except me. However, it is embarrassing. You know, the fact that a majority of those have been on I-65, US 40, or 465.
Interesting.
I mean, we should be ashamed.
Yeah.
We really should be ashamed at the quality that is our roads right now.
Yeah.
There is that long running joke of, you have a couple of different seasons in Indiana. You have winter and construction.
Yes, absolutely. And what's interesting is like, the governor announced that he was going to suspend the gas tax again. And we find out that we're saving like 65 cents a gallon. Like, where is that money going?
Where's it going?
65 cents a gallon for every person who fills up their tank.
Yeah.
I'm with you when you write on the infrastructure.
I mean, I understand that there is a lot that goes into that, especially because of our weather, but there has to be a better way. There has to be something. There has to be somebody out there who has done something very innovative that we could hopefully utilize.
Listen, let me tell you what John Bartlett, who was running for re-election in District 95, said. He said, "Have you ever seen a pothole at the airport on the runway?"
No.
So what is it about? And them are some great big old planes and jets, and you don't see no potholes. So what is it about the concrete mixture at the airport that allows these planes to go in and out all year long and not create potholes, but we can't do the same thing on our roads? What is it? We don't have to, like, there's got to be a rung underneath that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm with you when you write. What
else?
The
other thing that I am like, okay, yes, social service programs cost money. Infrastructure costs money. Childcare costs money. Legalize marijuana and tax it.
Yes.
Why have we not done this?
Prohibition. We got a bunch of Christians in the state house. They want to prohibit.
Listen, I consider myself a Christian, and all of the people that are calling themselves Christians, like, that's offensive to me because, quite frankly, no, you're not a Christian. You're just a hateful bigot.
Whoop. You better call them, girl. Call them.
Because I'm sorry, but my Jesus told us to love one another.
Say that. One of my guests I had on the other day, he said, pot for potholes.
Yes. I love that. I'm using that as a slogan now.
I stole it. I told him, I said, I'm stealing this. I want you to.
I think we're all going to steal that.
Let me see. I want to tell you exactly who said it so we can credit him for it. Because it was yesterday, one of my 4 that I did. I want to make sure that I have it. Austin. It was Austin Mevis. He also is running on making sure that we try to legalize pot. He said pot for potholes. I've interviewed 3 of you guys right now where marijuana legalization, cannabis legalization was one of the cornerstones of your campaigns. And Hoosiers won it. Yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that I think the last data that I saw, Hoosiers are spending somewhere in the realm of like $2-ish million in marijuana or cannabis products outside of the state of Indiana. All of the states around us are collecting millions of dollars in tax revenue.
Yes, they are.
The state of Indiana is absolutely missing out on millions of dollars, not only in tax revenue, but also revenue created by needing a regulating body to actually regulate this.
Absolutely.
Just like everything else, as a behavior analyst, I'm a licensed behavior analyst in the state of Indiana. I have to pay to be a licensed behavior analyst in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
We're going to be collecting revenue from the licensing agency that's going to be covering this. The other thing that legalization and regulation could really prevent would be like your gas stations selling unregulated products, but also like teens or other people stealing those products from those places because it's not regulated.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So if you actually want to protect our kids from drugs, quote unquote, then why wouldn't we legalize and regulate?
Well, but even still, the prohibition doesn't keep it out of people's hands.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, we're just losing money. That's literally it. We're just losing money to Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Illinois.
Yep.
That's it. We just want, and then now we're going to just, we'll make up the revenue by what? I don't know. Let's put data centers everywhere. Wait a second. Oh, wait, you gave a tax abatement to them. Never mind. But
you know what? Data centers don't produce jobs.
They don't. They do not.
Data centers don't support our Indiana farmers.
They don't.
Data centers aren't supporting day-to-day Hoosiers living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So why don't we do something that produces jobs, that supports our Indiana farmers, that actually supports people trying to live paycheck to paycheck in Indiana? And maybe we wouldn't have one of the highest foreclosure rates in the entire U.S.
Say that again. And what if we took those soybean farmers who lost their market share to Argentina, who we gave a whole bunch of money to? They lost their market share. They changed their crop. They change what they grow, and they start growing cannabis. And there's so many strains of that thing. I mean, I don't know nothing about nothing, but I just know you can get sativa, all the things, right?
Yeah.
They have a whole catalog.
Yes.
I mean, just think what our farmers could be doing with the land. Oh, but wait, sorry. I forgot, Michelle. They've deregulated all the wetlands. So we ain't gonna be able to grow that nowhere.
And it's interesting to me because Eli Lilly back in the 1800s actually did cannabis research. So the home of Eli Lilly, why are we not pushing more for this?
Well, because Eli Lilly recognized the power of cannabis and was like, oh my God, if people knew about this, they won't buy my other drugs. Are you kidding?
I mean, at this point, we're at a point in society where they're going to buy that and your other drugs.
Okay. But look, if they were real smart, okay, they know that cannabis for some people give them the munchies, right? They be wanting to eat. And then you got some of us who out here taking GLP-1s. I mean, come on. You don't say This has been an absolute fun, super fun conversation. I am so glad I got a chance to meet you today. You brought the giggles out of me today. Listen, tell the people where they can find you.
Facebook, Hennessee for Indiana House, or TikTok, Hennessee for Indiana.
I love it. And now, give us your elevator pitch on why we should support you for House District 58.
Oh gosh, you're putting me on the spot here.
That's the whole. I mean, you a candidate.
Well, I know. I didn't say I'm a.
Yes, you are. Listen, you're much. Let me tell you something.
I'm not.
This is your first campaign, correct?
It is. It's my very first.
And it's okay because no one gets anything right, everything right the first time. When I ran for office, I didn't know what to do with my volunteers. I didn't want to raise any money. And all I wanted to do was go out and knock doors. Well, I was one person. I wasn't about to knock an entire house district, right? The one thing that I did do very well was I used social media in 2016. So it was a different landscape, right? So don't worry. Don't worry about what you're not getting right now. I think you have good intentions. I believe that you would be much smarter than some of those people when it comes to regulating the insurance companies, because there's whole committees on that, right?
Yeah.
There's whole committees. All right. I gave you some time to think. Give me your elevator pitch.
Oh gosh. I mean, honestly, my pitch is going to be this. I have been advocating for the least of us for the better part of 2 decades. I can advocate for everyday Hoosiers because I am an everyday Hoosier.
I love it. That's it. That makes sense to me. Y'all, listen, she did. Okay. She told you she has an Act Blue page, or no, she didn't. She might not have told you.
Oh, I didn't, but I do have an Act Blue page.
All right. You got to see, you got to make that fundraising ask. You know what, Michelle, you were an absolutely wonderful guest. I know it probably didn't go in the direction that you wanted it to go in. I have a tendency to do that because like I pick up on something special about the candidate and I want to drill down into it so people understand what your expertise is. Because when you go to the State House, you're not going to know everything. But if you're really good at one or two things, you can really excel. And I'm telling you, people are going to be asking you more questions about how the insurance industry is regulated and how it negatively or positively impacts our lives. And these are the kind of conversations people are going to want to have for you. We already know people mad about, data centers. We know they mad about the defunding of public education. We know that they're mad about a lot of childcare costs, things of that nature. But your expertise in this insurance space, I'm telling you, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off because I'm going to highlight it.
I hope so. And I am always happy to answer questions for people. So,
all right. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me on Turn Left. Don't hang up yet, though. Y'all, listen, let me tell you something. I am very fortunate that my employer provides amazing health insurance. But one of the things that we have heard over and over again is why is your health insurance and your health care tied to your employer? Right? You must be employed someplace or you have to go to the market or something like that. We see over and over again that the insurance companies will do everything they can to take your money and not provide your service. Can you imagine what other business, what other industry would still be in business in the era of capitalism in this America, that if they didn't provide the services that you actually paid for, they would still be in business? Why is this even a thing? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to click the donate link for Michelle, because we need to send people who understands the fine print. She understands it as a small business owner. She understands it as a provider. And I imagine she understands it as a patient because she's a parent, right? When you got kids, you always got them little kids, they always getting sick, right? So guys, click the donate link, become a recurring donor, $5, $10. If you can give a big amount, give a big amount. But the only way we're going to flip this seat, time, talent, and treasure. She's going to need some money so that we can flip this seat and we can put some competent people who understand the importance of taking care of regular, everyday folk in the State House. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm Indiana's own Dana Black. Turn left. I will holler at you next time. Peace. Turn Left is the property of Black Pearl IT Solutions, executive producer, Indiana's own Dana Black. Music by Dorian and 22 from Pixabay.